Hello, hello, hello. I hope that you are doing really, really, really well today. I have an exciting video tonight because the newest 5-star Genshin character, Durin, has just released, and I've been very excited to pull for him. I have 102 wishes saved up. We are 35 into the pity, and we're on a guarantee, so we will definitely get him. But I'd also love to get his weapon too, which we're not guaranteed. So, I have some pulls here. This is number 45. I would also like to get a couple of copies of the newest 4-star on this banner, Yehoda. And we already see our first one, which I'm very happy about. She looks pretty cool, but I haven't played much with her. We are going in for 50, 55 here. The soft pity kicks in at around 72. And that's when our chance of seeing a 5-star goes up. So I'm of course hoping to save as many wishes as I can for his weapon banner. But we're dropping all 102 today. This is 65. And that purple glow just means we have a 4-star, which is guaranteed every 10 pull. Next up we have 75, and we're getting very close to the hard pity, and our chances are going up. No 5-star just yet though. We do get a Farazan, and because we're so close to the kind of soft pity ramp, and I want to save as many wishes as I can for his weapon banner, which is going in for singles. 76 here. We're looking for a nice orange glow. 77. We have a 4-star. And next up we have 78. Here's 78. And yes, there we go. Guaranteed Durin, and there he is. He's just a little baby dragon, and he's so adorable. I'm very glad to have a copy of him, and we're going to go in for his signature weapon next. And then if we have any pulls left over, I'll drop them back into Durin's banner for see if we can get some constellations. The weapon banner is a little bit more less forgiving with the way that it works. It splits our featured 5-star chance between two banner weapons, and we're not on a guarantee or anything. And I'm also out of space, so I'll clear up some in my inventory and we'll go in for 11. This is 11 on the pity. This banner is split between Venti's signature weapon and Durin's. To be honest, I have Venti and I'd like to use him with Durin, so I wouldn't be too upset if we got Venti's bow. But Durin's sword is the real prize. We do have a couple of 4-stars that I haven't seen before, and they look pretty cool. This one's got a cool raven on its hilt, but we're going in for 21. 21 here. Just a rain slasher, unfortunately. Next up is 31, and wow, it's a 5-star. Fingers crossed. We have an Aoife, which is nice, I guess. I do have him at C6. And here is Flint's weapon banner. And on Flint's weapon too, so I'm counting my blessings there. There it is, there it is. And we're going to take any of our leftover wishes and drop them back into Durin's banner. I haven't yet read his constellations at this point. So I don't know if they're particularly good, but usually C1 and C2 tend to be pretty good anyway. So we're going to drop in for a 10 here, 10 on the pity with no guarantee, of course. It would be very lucky if we saw anything here. This is 20, 20, and I don't quite have enough for another 10 pull without converting some into pulls there. This is 30, 30, 30, 30. This is 30, another Yehoda, which is nice, I guess. But we're going to have to drop the singles. Scrape the bottom of the barrel. Here's 31, 31, 31, 31. Nothing there. 32, 32, 33, 33. If I don't see a colored glow, I skip the animation. It's 34, 35 I think. 36, I'm zooming through these ones. 37, 37, 38 here. We do get a Farazan, which is nice. 39, 39, and we have 2 more pools saved up here with the currency, which I think will be 40 and 41. I can't remember if I mentioned yet, but this is of course pre-recorded footage, and I was very excited at the time, and I haven't left myself enough time to give some nice long whispered explanations. We will of course switch to some current voiceover in a second, where I'll play and whisper at the same time. It's going to be a lot more relaxed. But here we have Durin. Love him to bits. Love him to bits. I think his design is great, and he's very, very good as well. And we're just going to give him his signature sword there. Fits in perfectly with his playstyle, of course, and also his color palette and design. Looks great, looks great. And I'm just going to be putting on a couple of artifacts too. We're going to go for an emblem of Severed Fates build. And I did do a little bit of pre-farming, mainly for the artifacts, to try and get some good looking pieces. So we'll level them up a little bit here as well, although I don't have too many materials to level up with. So we're going to do a bit of rationing between the pieces, which isn't entirely satisfying, but that's all I've got for you, I'm afraid. And we're just going to give him an off piece here. So starting with the feather, the stats we're looking for are crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, energy recharge, and elemental mastery isn't bad either. Unfortunately we get 2 rolls here. 2 rolls into flat attack, which doesn't spark joy. So rather than waste any more resources on that, I'm going to switch to a different flower. This one's got crit rate, crit damage, and some elemental mastery. So not a terrible piece. We have a crit damage roll. We get an elemental mastery roll. And we finish up the piece with another crit damage roll. So looking pretty good overall. Now for the feather, We don't need to worry quite as much about crit rate and to some extent crit damage. His weapon's main stat is crit rate, which is great, and his ascension stat is crit damage. This piece is pretty crazy. We got a ×5 bonus, and it ended up rolling 3 into crit rate and 1 into attack percentage. The off stats aren't quite what we're looking for, but all of the rolls hit their mark. And finally we'll do some leveling up on the goblet. And that's about it for this pre-recorded footage, so we'll switch over to some current stuff and I'll see you in a second. Okay. So we are now in current time, and it has been a few days since I did my Durin pulls. I've been leveling him up a bit and thinking about fun teams that I can try him with a big part of that being the new buffs to some of the old Mondstadt characters, where if you have 2 or more of a set of Mondstadt characters in a party, they both get some pretty crazy buffs. So, for example, Mona here and Durin both count towards this Hexerei, I think. Hexerei faction, Hexen Circle faction. However, I haven't yet done Durin's quest to unlock his Hexerei status, so I thought that we could do that together. I've done a couple of them for Mona, Venti, and Sucrose, and they don't take too long. So I thought we could do that. We can also, of course, have a bit of a showcase of Durin and see how he works. And read through all of his skills as well. And then finally, if we have some time, I'll do a bit more farming. I need to be picking a bunch of flowers for his ascension. I've only got him up to level 70 at the moment, and I think some of his artifacts aren't fully leveled up yet still. So we have some work to do, but it should all be some nice, chill, relaxed fun. Anyway, why don't we start by reading through some of his skills. I've been using him a bit, so I think I have some understanding. However, his skills are pretty wordy. Not his normal attack, Radiant Wing Slash, though. That's pretty standard, he just kind of hits a bit. So, nothing much going on there. His skill, though, is called Binary Form, Convergence, and Division. And let's read through it. It says, purify the substance of souls and wishes to undergo essential transmutation. While transmuted, Durin's elemental skill, Binary Form, Convergence, and Division will be replaced with the special elemental skill, Transmutation, Confirmation of Purity, and the normal attack, Radiant Wing Slash, will be replaced with the special elemental skill, Transmutation, Denial of Darkness. The transmutations are basically 2 different stances, 2 different modes. So you press the elemental skill once, and then you can pick between the 2 modes by either clicking or pressing E again. The Confirmation of Purity transmutation deals 1 instance of AoE pyro damage to nearby opponents. It reverses essential transmutation and enters the Confirmation confirmation of purity state for 30 seconds. The Denial of Darkness transmutation deals 3 consecutive instances of pyro damage to opponents in front, reverses essential transmutation, and enters the Denial of Darkness state for 30 seconds. Essential transmutation isn't really anything special. It's just the kind of middle ground he's in when he hasn't picked either of the transmutations. So not much going on there. When Durin enters the confirmation of purity or denial of darkness state while in battle, he will restore a certain amount of elemental energy. Elemental energy can be restored this way once every 6 seconds. And then we have some flavor text down here. Love and rage exist within each other in near eternal accord, dwelling inside all living things. The hearts of the creatures they manifest answer the call of the entire world, birthing 2 cores. So, his skill's main kind of use is to allow him to pick between either his light form or his dark form, and depending on which form he's in, his elemental burst will kind of do something different. His burst is called Principle of Purity as the light shifts, and it says, unleash the power of the beast in different ways. Durin can use different elemental bursts based on his essential transmutation state. Principle of Purity as the light shifts. When Durin is in the confirmation of purity state, that's his light form, he will use the elemental burst. Principle of Purity as the light shifts, dealing 3 instances of AoE pyro damage to opponents in front, and manifesting his power in the Dragon of the White Flame form. The Dragon of White Flame will follow the current active character and attack nearby opponents at intervals, dealing AoE pyro damage. This damage is considered elemental burst damage. And we also have Principle of Darkness as the stars smolder. When Durin is in the Denial of Darkness state, he will use the elemental burst Principle of Darkness as the stars smolder, dealing 3 instances of AoE pyro damage to opponents in front, and manifesting his power in the Dragon of Dark Decay form. The Dragon of Dark Decay will follow the current active character and periodically attack a single nearby opponent, dealing pyro damage. This damage is considered elemental burst damage, and when Durin is not in a special state, as a result of essential transmutation, he will use the elemental burst Principle of Purity as the light shifts, so that's the AoE light form. Every man is the master of his own soul. In this life, he can choose to become rage or radiance. That's his burst. We have one of his ascension talents, Light Manifest, of the Divine Calculus. Durin will trigger different buffs depending on the form that his power manifests as when he unleashes his elemental burst. When that form is Dragon of White Flame, that's his light mode, after nearby party members trigger burning, overloaded, pyro swirl, or pyro crystallize reactions on an opponent, or deal pyro damage, or dendro damage to an opponent affected by burning, that opponent's pyro res, and the res for the corresponding element involved in the reaction, are decreased by 20% for 6 seconds. So that's a really great supportive buff that relies on him doing a version that isn't vaporize or melt. So it only works with Dendro, Electro, Animo or Geo. That's what he gets from his light mode. His dark mode, Dragon of Dark Decay, says Durin's vaporized damage is increased by 40%, and his melt damage is increased by 40%. So that kind of gears him up more towards focusing on his own personal damage. And that's his dark mode, the single target one. So, very cool so far, and there's a little bit more to it. We have Chaos formed like the night, another Ascension talent. It says, after unleashing an elemental burst, Duran gains the primordial fusion of forms effect for 20 seconds. Duran gains 10 stacks of primordial fusion when a periodic attack from Dragon of White Flame or Dragon of Dark Decay deals damage. 1 stack of primordial fusion will be consumed to increase the damage dealt by 3% of the original damage. For every 100 attack, a maximum of 75% additional damage can be dealt this way. When a single attack from Dragon of White Flame or Dragon of Dark Decay hits multiple opponents, only 1 stack of Primordial Fusion is consumed. Primordial Fusion stacks are reset when the Elemental Burst is unleashed again. So this kind of puts a goal for his attack at 2,500 to aim for to get the maximum damage increase. We also have his Witch's Eve Rite Ode to Ascension talent, and this is the one that we are going to unlock through a quest. To have him count as a Hexerei character. After completing Witch's homework of this world, Durin will become a Hexerei character. When the party includes at least 2 Hexerei characters, you will gain the Hexerei Secret Rite effect, which enhances Hexerei characters. And Durin's effect is increases all effects of the Ascension talent. Light Manifest of the Divine Calculus, except for duration, by 75%. So that'll be the Elemental Res Shred, as well as the Vaporize and Melt damage increase. And finally, he also has the Echoes of the Surging Earth passive talent, which gives 25% more rewards when dispatched on a Mondstadt expedition for 20 hours. So, he has a lot going on, but it's actually pretty straightforward once you get to use him. Let's also check his signature weapon, Athame Artis. It has a load of crit rate, mine's not fully leveled up yet, and the Day King's Splendor Solis effect says crit damage from elemental bursts is increased by 16% when an elemental burst hits an opponent. Gain the Blade of the Daylight Hours effect. Attack is increased by 20%. Nearby active party members other than the equipping character have their attack increased by 16% for 3 seconds. Additionally, when the party possesses Hexerei Secret Rite effects, the effects of Blade of the Daylight Hours are increased by an additional 75%. This effect can be triggered even if the equipping character is off field. So, he gives a very nice attack boost to other party members. A precious sword gifted by the Day King to the brave hero in the Little Witch's story, only for the witch to take it and defeat the hero herself. That's his sword there, looks very cool. Finally, although I don't have any yet, Jesus. we should read through his constellations. And I'm hoping not all of them are as long as his first one. His first constellation is called Adamar's Redemption. After casting his elemental burst, Durin's effects will vary depending on the form of his elemental burst. In his light form, all other nearby party members gain 20 stacks of Cycle of Enlightenment, lasting 20 seconds. When nearby active characters deal normal attack, charged attack, plunging attack, elemental skill, or elemental burst damage, 1 stack of Cycle of Enlightenment will be consumed to increase the damage dealt by 60% of Durin's attack. Stack accounts for characters in the party who have Cycle of Enlightenment are managed individually. That seems very nice. His dark form bonus says Durin gains 20 stacks of Cycle of Enlightenment, lasting 20 seconds. When Durin deals elemental burst damage, 2 stacks of Cycle of Enlightenment will be consumed to increase the damage dealt by 150% of Durin's attack. And when he does another burst, these stacks will be refreshed. So that constellation does seem pretty good. I would love to get that one actually. Next up we have Unground Visions. For 20 seconds after Durin uses an elemental burst. After nearby party members trigger Vaporize, Melt, Burning, Overloaded, Pyro Swirl, or Pyrocrystallize reactions, or deal pyro damage or dendro damage to an opponent affected by burning. All nearby party members gain a 50% increase to their pyro damage, and to the corresponding elemental damage involved in the reaction for 6 seconds. Whoa, that one seems pretty crazy. It's a pretty common thing with a lot of the recent characters for their C2 to be particularly good. I don't know if we'll manage to get that though. Flame Mirror's Revelation is his C3, and it just boosts his skill level by 3 and the maximum upgrade. We have C4 is Emanare's Source, maybe. Durin's elemental burst damage is increased by 40%. Additionally, when effects that consume Cycle of Enlightenment stacks are triggered as part of the constellation Adamar's Redemption, there is a 30% chance that no Cycle of Enlightenment stacks will be consumed. Seems okay. C5 is Scouring Flames Sundering. Increases the level of binary form, convergence, and division by 3. Oh, that's his skill. This C3 is his ult. C3 boosts his ult. Sure, not much interesting there. His final constellation is Dual Birth. Durin's elemental burst damage ignores 30% of opponent's defense. Additionally, his elemental bursts are enhanced. After his light form hits an opponent, that opponent's defense is decreased by 30%. And damage from his dark form will ignore an additional 40% of opponent's defense. I mean, it kind of goes without saying that his C6 is pretty crazy. But I'd love to get his C1. I'll just drop the pulls that I get during this patch into his banner and see if something comes out. Otherwise, I do have a lot of leveling up left to do. I need to be upgrading his skills, of course. I think his artifacts are exactly as I left them. We might have enough to level up some stuff. Let's do this one. Sure, I'll take another crit rate hit. What do we get here? Whoa. My god. I think we're gonna be close to capping. We're a little ways off. We're 169.3 and 169.5 crit damage. Very nice. So his artifacts are actually pretty good, and they still need a bit of leveling up, especially his attack one. I'm out of gold though, unfortunately. Gold is a bit of a bottleneck at the moment, so we can do a bit of farming, I think. Pick some flowers, and I think we will start with the Hexerei quest, which shouldn't take too long. I can just pick it up from here. A child wandering the world. Go to the Knights of Favonius headquarters. Inside the Witch's Dictionary, you discover an unusual message that must be delivered to Durin. We got a Witch's Dictionary given to us by Alice, one of the witches, and it had, I think, letters to a bunch of different Mondstadt characters, kind of setting up the quests for each of them. And once they've done their tasks, they get a nice buff. So we're gonna head on over to the Knights of Favonius headquarters while we watch Durin run around. I really like his model. He's got a cool looking tail there, and he does have some wings as well. Although I feel like they missed a bit of a trick here, because he doesn't use his wings when he glides, but they do come out as part of his attacks. So if I just do his normal attack a bit, whoop, there they are. Don't they look cool? That's his normal attack string. Looks cool. Although we will very, very rarely be using it. His charged attack looks cool as well. He does a cool flip. And I'm pretty sure his plunging attack is kind of normal. Whoop. Yeah, pretty normal there. In terms of his skill, that's something we can look at now. So when I press E, I get the chance of doing the two different form switches. I'll do his dark form by pressing E and then clicking. So that's his E, and then if I click, he does like a dragon's claw attack, and now I'm in the dark form state. If I had enough energy, I could do his elemental burst, and I would go into the dark form of that, which is his own kind of personal damage kind of focus. If I do E and then E again, whoop, that's his light form attack, his more supportive one. We'll have to wait until we get his burst up to see what that looks like. It is pretty cool, and it lasts a while too, which is nice. It lasts... where is it here? 20 seconds with an 18-second cooldown. So in theory, if we have enough energy, we can just keep that up indefinitely. Anyway, here I am in front of the Knights of Favonius headquarters. Let's head in. Let's head in and pick up Durin's quest here. Straight into it. There he is, perusing the library. I really love his voice actor too. I think they did a really good job of kind of capturing the sort of childlike innocence and naivety. He has a load of voice lines that are just, they're super adorable. Like this one when he joins the party and he just goes, he's like, "Hello, I'm Durin." Just so funny. Here he is. Technically, I haven't met him yet, as in like Kinbub, me. I haven't done the story quests, but I know who he is. What are you doing starts raining, and you run around with Durin. He goes like, he's like, oh, I've got an urge to jump into a puddle. I love that. Trouble telling people. He's having trouble telling when people are joking. He loves a beautiful flower. And she said, it sounds like the shopkeeper was being a bit rude. So Durin is having trouble understanding sarcasm. We have the option of saying you have a unique perspective, Durin, or feels like she's the one with the issue here. While I do agree that it sounds like she has an issue here, I think if we can help Durin to understand sarcasm and jokes, he might have an easier time navigating the social interactions of Mondstadt. You have a unique perspective, Durin. Trouble understanding the meaning behind words. Read. It's born from a storybook. That's a very fair point. So, we can either say friends do often drop by just to say hi, Durin, or so we're here at the Hexen Circle's behest. I'm going to say friends do often drop by just to say hi. We do have the business of the Hexen Circle, though. So it wasn't entirely true. We have a message to pass along from Ryan. And Ryan Daughter. It has been a while since I played the Simulanka summer event, and you can't even play it anymore, which is a big shame. It would be nice if they put like some permanent events available, like Honkai does. But yeah, this Durin was originally like a little dragon that was created in this storybook world, and then I think he was given this form by Albedo, I think. Aunt Ryan Daughter, are you okay? The mother of the dragon that once existed in my stead. Yeah, so the Durin we see here is like a construction. He's technically not like a real reincarnation of the of Durin the dragon from before. So if she dislikes me, well, I'm not sure what I'd do. We can say I don't think she holds it against you, or either way you have us. I think that's nice and supportive. Either way you have us. Yeah, it's probably not worth assuming it'll be bad. Let's just read the letter. That does make me feel better. Well, I guess I should open it. Yeah, let's go ahead and open it. Wow. What have we got? What have we got? What have we got? Seems like we're being teleported somewhere. I can hear the teleport sounds in the background. This looks like the Imaginarium Theatre, with all of the kind of storybook cutouts and stuff. I think we're going to do a bit of fighting. All of the quests so far have given us a chance to use the like upgraded version of the character. The other buffs have been really good, actually. Really good. I think general opinion is that the buffs make the characters, like, meta. Some of the best characters at the moment, especially with constellations. Here comes a strange cat. Hi there. Is this Rheindotter in cat form? Well, this is familiar. Ah, they just have a message for Rheindotter. What have we got? They do a very good impression. Mini Durin. Well, it seems like she's not upset that Durin has supplanted the old dragon. Seems like we can still do a bit to prove Durin's worth. I think we're gonna be put right into a fight to prove our strength to Rheindotter. Oh, here they are. They're all ice powered. So I'm thinking of using Durin's dark form, which boosts his melt capabilities. Although I have a couple other characters here that don't work so well with melt. Let's swap. We'll go to the other form here. We also get to see his burst, which looks pretty cool. I'll try not to take the limelight with Lauma or Mona. Those were some pretty easy fights though. Durin is pretty strong. Looks like I was mistaken. We were fine, Paimon. We've unlocked Durin's Hexerei status. Prepared a technique that would seal the dark power in your blood. I plan to take this opportunity to pass it on to you. Because you I'm definitely interested in keeping Durin around. I would like to kind of know more and like read up on the, like the Hexen Circle and the witches and stuff. The information's out there, so I just need to catch up on it all. It definitely seems like some interesting and pretty deep lore. Was a terrific mother, far more capable than That's quite sweet. That's quite sweet of her. Well, he has two friends at least in us. I've never conducted an experiment like this before. Such all the key to some unexpected answers. Oh, I love Paimon. She cares a lot. Yeah, I suppose it was kindness in a way. And That's all Master Reinhardt has to say. Can we get a self-introduction at least? Sebas. Sebas. Just a butler. Prince of Albeda, yes. Although I don't own him, I would love to get him. With the latest Hexerei buffs, he's very, very good. So I'm patiently waiting for the Mondstadt Chronicled banner to try and get him. An alchemical being. He's got an interesting model. I imagine he'll crop up again. What are you trying to say? Maybe don't finish that thought, Durin. Being mean to Paimon as usual. Oh. Are we gonna get poofed back to reality? Put that done, I'll be going now. Another passage. Reinhardt's messenger, huh? And we're getting popped back into Tivat. Perfect. And we have completed the quest, so Durin is now a Hexerei member. And being in a party with Mona gives them both some pretty cool buffs. I was doing some thinking to try and come up with some fun teams to try it with Durin, and I think this one could be pretty fun. It's got Mona, Durin, Baiju and Lauma as well. Although I know that Durin doesn't necessarily get any buffs from Burgeon, which is the reaction between when you do Dendro and Hydro to make a Dendro core. And I'm going to teleport to pick up some flowers while I ramble. When you do a reaction between Hydro and Dendro, you make a Dendro core bloom, and then when you apply Pyro to that core, it will catch on fire. That's the Burgeon reaction, and Durin doesn't get any bonuses, strictly speaking, from that. But I still think this team could be fun. Also, Mona's buffs kind of gear her towards Vaporize. This one here. She gets some stacks when she does attacks herself, so it kind of puts her in an on-field driver main kind of DPS role. She gets stacks that increase the damage of Vaporize, which is Pyro and Hydro. So Mona kind of just wants to have Durin's Pyro application all to herself. But I figure we'll hit some stray Vaporizes. My Lauma is pretty strong. I don't think I showed her in my last Genshin video, which will have been when I pulled for Flynn's. But I did actually pull for Lauma before Flynn's came out, and I got very, very lucky. I think I got 3 copies of Lauma in 30 pulls. So she is at C2, which is a very nice one. She still needs a bit of leveling up, but she's at 1056 elemental mastery. 31.4% crit rate, 87.3% crit damage, and 192% energy recharge with a bit of dendro damage bonus. I also have her on the crafted Black Marrow Lantern weapon, which is perfect for Lauma and her Bloom and Lunar Bloom playstyle. I also have Baiju here, who gives a very nice buff to Burning Bloom, Hyper Bloom and Burgeon reaction damage. Based on his max HP, he could do with a bit more actually. I think 40,000's the cap. 50,000's the cap. But I need to level him up some more, and I've kind of just given him this catalyst, this weapon, without leveling it up yet. So we have some room for improvement there. Ideally I'd want like an HP percentage main stat. But I've got my prototype Amber on Sucrose, who is in my Flynn's team, and I don't really want to take that off. I really like it for the utility of healing everyone. I just really value that kind of comfortability without having to teleport back to a Statue of the Seven every 10 minutes. This catalyst definitely needs leveling up. It's the Etherlight Spindle Loot, which was an event weapon. It has energy recharge as the main stat, and gives elemental mastery in the effect, so I don't think it's bad for him. It does mean that I could swap him off of this energy recharge sands, which I think is fair. I've got him on a 4-piece ocean hued clam, which helps with healing and stuff. A lot of text there. So with that we're up to 38,000 max HP, 167% energy recharge, and we don't really care about the crit stuff. Finally in this team I have Mona, who I have at C3. She is a standard banner character, so whenever I lose a 50-50, I feel like she always comes up. Which is good news now though, because she's pretty good. She needs some work though. I have her on the Skyward Atlas Catalyst, which increases attack percentage as the main stat, elemental damage bonus, and also does some extra attack damage when you do normal attacks. She is also an Emblem of Severed Fate, and her stats look okay at the moment. She has 54.8% crit rate, 102% crit damage, and 236% energy recharge, which kind of carries forward into some Hydra damage bonus because of one of her talents. So I think this team's going to be pretty fun to use. Let's pick up some more of these flowers, and we can jump into some domains, I think. Although I'm in desperate need of gold, so I might do some ley lines. Duran needs these frost lamp flowers to ascend, and I have 2 more ascension levels to go, and I don't have nearly enough flowers. So I'm going to have to be picking these ones up pretty regularly. Thankfully, quite a lot of them spawn on this lighthouse island. Kind of Flynn's home. So I can run around here and pick them all up. Oh look who it is. Flynn's is over here doing some fishing. He's very cute too. I'll leave him be though. Let's grab some more of these flowers. Lauma thankfully shows the location of these Nodcry specific materials. I think I missed a couple on this side. We can pick these up though. I'm actually not tracking them, so I don't get the circle right now, but I probably should be. Let's see if there's any more around here. Looks like we got them all from this island, and the other ones are just down here. That's okay. Let's teleport over to this ley line blossom. Start getting some gold. So I'm not fully set on the best rotation and stuff for this team, I guess. But Durin's burst lasts a long time, so I usually start with him. At the moment he doesn't have enough energy for his burst, so we're just going to use his skill and then swap through Baiju and Lauma, and then we'll see if we can finish things off with Mona. It's probably going to take two skills to get Durin his elemental burst. And then we'll just start hitting everyone with Lauma. We don't get the bonus of Mona's Hexerei talent, which boosts the vaporized damage, because Duran didn't have his burst up. That's okay though, we have it now. Let's head on over to this to this next ley line up here. We can swap into Lauma's beautiful deer form, and we'll start with Durin. I'm going to go into his supportive light mode, and then pop his burst, and then go through everyone. There we are. Baiju's burst isn't quite up. Ouch. And I was being knocked back pretty heavily. Just start hitting them all. The damage really isn't too bad, especially considering I still have some leveling up to do. Lauma's skill usually bursts everyone down quite a lot. It does a really good amount of damage. So that was a bit of a messy one. I feel like I got screwed over at the beginning a little bit, because they were knocking me back like crazy. I don't have any shields in this team. Oh no, I do from Baiju, as long as he gets his burst off. Let's do this one then. So we just have one opponent here. See if we can take him down nice and quick. Mona's burst puts a pretty nice damage bonus effect. Oh, took some pretty heavy damage there. I wonder if I should try swapping into oops. I did the wrong form of Lauma's E. I just pressed it by mistake. I wonder if I should try Durin's dark mode against these single target enemies. See if we can finish this guy off. Not too bad, not too bad. We are getting quite a lot of vaporized there as well, so the single target dark mode would have been a good choice. Maybe we'll try it if we see any other big enemies. But I'm pretty happy with the damage and how it plays at the moment. It's quite a lot of fun. Did you see that one? Oh, we haven't quite got Durin's ult. That's all good. I think I could maybe do with more, ow. Oops. Durin just got popped. That's all good. Let's see if we can heal him back up. maybe I could do with some more, see if we can get this mech over here who's gonna start firing at us. Maybe I could do with some more energy recharge, just to make sure I have his burst up on cooldown. Grab all these bits. Okay, with our extra gold, let's see if we can level up any of these. Mona actually has some of my best Emblem of Severed Fate pieces, so it's awkward that I want to use them in the same team. So we could boost this one, that looks pretty good. Do an attack when in crit damage. See where this goes. Oh no. I just want to do one more level for now, so I'll put in some of these. Oh, that's pretty good. Some very high attack there. We're up to 1,667, and that's without max ascension, and his weapon could do with some more leveling. And we have 40 resin left. Let's do, considering we're out of equipment, artifact level ups. Shall we do let's do an artifact domain. We can do the Emblem of Severed Fates one, which I always forget what is best for this domain. I think it's Pyro. I think I remember bringing my Flynn's team in and always leaving because it doesn't do anything. I might be mixing up my domains though. We'll see what gets suggested. Pyro and Cryo. I think this should be fine. We'll jump in with this one. I think, yeah, I think it summons electro enemies, and that's why my Flynn's team doesn't do anything. Yeah, here we are. Try and get his burst off soon, and then swap onto someone else so he doesn't die. Onto Lauma. We didn't quite get Baiju's burst off, which would have been helpful. But those guys were taking a lot of damage. I'm pretty happy with the damage that came out there. We can see if we get any good artifacts. Although I'm mainly doing this for some level up material. That's no good. I guess I'll lock this. Maybe it would be okay. It's not like awful. Double crit rate, double crit stats is always nice to see. Although the two flat stats are kind of cringe. We'll lock that. I've had worse artifacts, and that has brought us down to 0 resin. 0 resin, so maybe we'll deal with these guys, and then I'll pick up my rewards from Catherine. We can have another pull. Maybe this could be the one that gets us C1 Durin. Where have they gone? Oh, they died. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the damage and stuff from this team so far. Especially considering there's still leveling up to do. Let me pick up my Primo gems here. And we get another pull. I think I'm at about like 50-ish on the pity. So you never know, you never know. We'll pick this up from Catherine. And I'm just gonna send out my expeditions again. I'm always low on gold, so I have a load of people getting gold for me. 280, perfect. Perfect. This could be the one, this could be the one. Unfortunately, not this time. That's okay though. That's okay though. I'm hoping I can get at least another 5-star by the end of the banner. And of course I'd like that to be Durin. But at the very least, if we lose the 50-50, my next one will be guaranteed. I have my eye on Varka, who is a couple months away. And I'm also really hoping for a Mondstadt Chronicled banner soon, so I can try and get Albedo. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this one. And I hope that you come back again soon for another one.